Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Ooh. Just realized I didn't have closed captions on. We fixed that. Hi, how are you all doing? Oh, dear Lord. Today, I feel like everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong today. I don't know why. It's just sort of how it all worked out, and a little bit frustrating, but you know, I'm here with you guys, and that is the important thing. I do apologize if, like, everything looks a bit wonky tonight. Like I said, everything that could go wrong legitimately did, and half of my settings in Streamlabs got completely borked before I even logged in. So, you know, that was fun. I have been, like, I've been trying to tweak everything and make sure it does work, but, like, I only noticed everything was wrong a few minutes before I started. So, it sadly is what it is right now. And we're just going to deal with it as it is, because, you know, sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes these things happen. It's cool. We're all fine here. So, tonight plans also got a tiny bit switched because I completely forgot that the Markarth Prologue dropped a couple of weeks ago because Lost Treasures of Skyrim happened and I got distracted by all of the shiny things. Which, again, it's going to happen. It's going to happen because shinies are important, and, you know, it's a way to acquire funds in this game. But, you know, again, it's fine. I feel like that's all I'm saying tonight. It's terrible. But we're going to try to work past that. We are going to try to work past that. And we are going to get on and do a thing. I hope you guys are all doing well tonight. I hope if things are being a bit off for you, I hope everything's going well tonight. I hope you guys are remembering to drink water and just have a good time tonight. It's almost the end of the week. It's almost Friday. It'll be Friday in a few more hours. I'm not going to get on my entire rant about living for the weekend again because that was last week. We're not getting into that again. It's just, yeah, we're not going to get into that again. I don't want the stream to be about that. All I want tonight's stream to be about is just having a good time and just hanging out and just generally enjoying ourselves in Tamriel. We do have the Markarth Prologue to get through tonight, so we're going to do that. We're probably also going to hit up a few Hero Storms before we get into things. Just to sort of ease myself back into the game, and also making sure my computer is not going to panic at the first sign of intense graphics. Because sometimes it does that with Hero Storms especially, and, you know, we don't need that. So, we are going to flip on over and do the thing, and you're going to hit up some Hero Storms, and it's going to be fun. I hope. And then in a bit, we will take on, oh god, what are words? We will take on the Markarth Prologue. I will flail about that for a bit. And it's going to be a good time. It is going to be a good night. In fact, as I say that, I'm running down towards a way shrine, and I noticed there was a Harrowstorm, so we're going to flip over and actually do that while we wait for things to actually situate and load and such. Hopefully by the time I get over there, the Harrowstorm will not be destroyed, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes it happens, and I get over there and the Harrowstorm is just completely decimated. Also, yes, I am riding a Sovngarde mount. I love this thing. It's a very glowy Gwar. It doesn't really suit this character's aesthetic, but this is the first and only time I've ever actually gotten a mount out of the crown crates. So I want to enjoy it for a little bit. I want to make full use of this glowy Gwar. That's not the first glowy Gwar I have. I do have another Gwar, but he doesn't get to come out very often, because again, I don't feel like I have characters that would ride Gwars a lot. Oh god. I have no idea if it's just these bosses that we're dealing with right now or what, but I definitely showed up towards the end of this Harrowstorm. Flappy sir, will you please hold still? Oh my god, no. You do not get to do that. You know, whenever I go to these Harrowstorms, there's a part of me that seriously considers just respecking this entire character and retooling them for stabs. I know technically Bosmer aren't optimized for that.
How can you survive the ritual? How can you stand against our storms?
But I am incredibly tempted. Did I actually get those? I don't know.
Be the goose you want to see in the world.
Oh dear. I heard that a little late, and I don't know if the alert actually played the way it was meant to. But thank you for the resub, Kaylee. I appreciate it. Welcome. We are warming up with some Harrowstorms right now. Actually, that alert got a bit choppy. Let's actually... Excuse me. We're going to try to replay that. And see if it actually wants to load.
Be
There
the
we go.
goose you want to see in the world.
There we go. Gonna move him up. Been here for a bit, but had to wash the cat's eye out. Don't know what she got into, but her eye was bright red. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yasha, what are you doing, sweetie?
Allow yourself some rest. The divines are watching over us.
Alright. Yes, like I said earlier, we're just warming up with some Harrowstorms before we get on into the meat of tonight. Because I swear plans for tonight's stream have changed 7 or 8 times in the span of like the past hour, which is a little ridiculous, I will admit. Probably just got cat litter dust in it, but she freaked me out. Understandable, really. Our fur babies are beloved friends, and they can't exactly communicate what's wrong in a way that we are often capable of understanding. So, slightest thing wrong with my fur babies, I tend to freak out. I know that.
Yeah.
So, like, I too would have concern.
Yeah.
We are just going to glance in this direction. Make sure this Harrowstorm is not up. Does not appear to be. Okay. She's actually holding it open now where she was squinting and keeping it closed before, so I think I got whatever it was. Good. Good. Poor Yasha. Getting things stuck in your eye is not a lot of fun. Speaking from experience. Nope. No Harrow Storm here. People sometimes actually call them out, but I don't know that anybody's doing that right now. There aren't a whole lot of Harrow Storm groups that currently exist right now. Just because with the Lost Treasures event over, most people tend to avoid doing large daily things like the plague for some reason. I don't know why that is. You know when you get an eyelash in your eye and you literally can't hold it open to get it out? Yes. Yes. I hate it. It is the worst. It is the worst.
They answer the call.
Everybody, we are over here by this witch pike. So, witch pike, I will try to help out on. Oh no, no! Leave me alone.
A bountiful harvest.
Do not get to try to hit me with anything. I'm literally just trying to disrupt you.
Reliquary is filled.
I'm assuming that's what happened. She wasn't pleased with me holding her to wipe her eye out with a warm cloth. I mean, would you be pleased if somebody held you for that sort of thing? Because I know I would not be pleased.
The exchange. More souls. More.
If I were Yasha, anyway. Oh, God. Well, now I'm just mad at myself. I'm just mad at myself. Because I had to dodge roll out of something and I lost my ult. It happens sometimes, and I know there's really no help for it when it does. It's just annoying. Yeah, see, Gailey, nobody likes being held down while having somebody mess with your eye. Nobody likes that.
Nears completion.
Oh god, I'm literally gonna get everything's attention with that AoE. Oh god, no! Do not look at me, Flappy Boy. Damn it. Sir! Sir! What is your issue? Leave me alone. All I'm trying to do is defend Western Skyrim, and how dare you? How freaking... Oh no. Oh no, there's a Shrike over there. I see the Shrike. I am not pleased with this.
Continue the offerings.
For anybody who doesn't know, that's the Shrike right there. He hits like a Mack truck and tends to zip around and make things generally annoying on the Harrow Storms. Everything else that shows up during a Harrow Storm is bad enough. Like the Flesh Golems, they're pretty bad. We'll have Death Knights that show up, those are pretty bad too. The Shrikes, I feel like, are the worst. Just because I feel like they don't operate on any sort of predictable, like, rule set. They are the most wild. At least in my own opinion. Oh, jeez. And a Blood Knight was literally right behind me, and I did not notice. How dare, sir. How dare. We are just trying to stop your Harrow Storm, and here you are, being terrible. And literally everybody just died. So, and of course, oh great. So when everybody on these things winds up dying, the Harrow Storm like, all of your progress essentially gets reset. Hi, Yumi. So, because literally everybody that was attacking this pike died, we lost any of the progress we made on this. Which is mildly frustrating. But it happens. I'm trying not to let it bother me too much.
And join your comrades in this world.
In our defense, we had a Shrike and a Blood Knight, and, like, gods only know what else on us at the time. So I'm not surprised that we all died horrible deaths. It does happen sometimes. It's just very annoying, and hopefully... Okay, good.
Answer the call.
It's worse with the Blood Knight over there, if you see him, because he does this one ability that sends energy out in like a cross pattern. Ha! We got one. So if you're not like to certain sides of that cross pattern, it is a bad time for you to exist.
The exchange is complete.
And even though it only has like what appears to be a very narrow path, which I'm moving a bit so I'm not directly in that path,
The exchange.
it looks like it has a very narrow path, but it actually feels like there's so much there. Super late to this, but also mood at everything going wrong today. Yes. Yes. Like, as an example, when I loaded up Streamlabs and switched over to my ESO settings, for some reason unknown to me, my webcam, despite working on other scenes, was not working in the ESO one for whatever reason. There was no logical reason for that.
From oblivion.
And yet it happened anyway. Oh god, did not see that in time. That was my own fault. On the plus side, we have gotten down two of these pikes, and we're not all dead. So, I'm taking this as a win. Oh my god, get off. Part of me is still considering actually switching over to staves for Harrowstorm runs though. Just because I feel like there's never enough people actually healing during things like this. Which is ridiculous. I acknowledge that is ridiculous. There are clearly a lot of healers at these things. But I feel like there could be more. There we go.
Wicker will be short-lived.
Okay, what are you giving us? What are you giving us? Oh, it's a Flappy Boy. Not the super obnoxious Flappy Boy, but still an annoying Flappy Boy. Who somehow is capable of flapping without proper wings. Do not ask me how that works. I do not claim to know. I do not claim to understand the mechanics of Flappy Boys. I just know this one in particular is obnoxious. That said, I will still take him over, out of the way of him, because he does that. Oh my god, that was my own fault. I walked right into that. I will still take this Flappy Boy over a Shrike, or I think they're the Goliaths that shoot out odd paths of fire. Because dodging those can be a pain in the butt, the fire path with the Goliath things. So I will take this. I will take the Flappy Boy. Woohoo!
Storm, you stop. We will summon a dozen more.
I did laundry, but my new detergent is really fragrant despite being hypoallergenic. I like it, but it's a bit much, so I'm ordering a different kind, and I may alternate mix them until this one is done. I mean, fair, really. Also, I'm kind of laughing right now because I just happened to look down at Zone Chat, and I just saw somebody say, "Ah, yes, Welcome to Hero Storms, where you'll be one-shotted 3 times over 3 ash. They're not wrong. Sometimes that's all you get. But it is a bit annoying sometimes. That's an option too, Gaily. Trading, I mean. Trading is always a viable option. Okay, I think we're gonna try for one more Hero Storm above ground, and then we will get into the meat of tonight, which is going to be the Markarth Prologue, because, oh, look at that. I think this one literally just started. But yeah, I completely forgot the Prologue even existed, because the last few weeks I got distracted by shiny things. And we kind of need to do that, because I haven't done that yet.
What wasn't your conscience?
I'm hesitant to get too close, though, because nobody else is here. I don't want to wait there, because that is a bear. A bear will eat me. Which one is this? There's one lone dude. And I feel bad for him, so I'm gonna try to help.
The storm is not strictly
We clearly cannot do this with just 2 people, but I did make notice in zone chat, so hopefully others will come and assist. But I don't know. All of those are perfectly viable options, Gaily.
a bountiful harvest.
Also, I see you have typed something, Yumi, but I will look at it in just a second. 'Cause I do not want to die.
Another fruitful harvest.
I need to bully Eris into doing the prologue mission with me. They need to for reasons. Yes. I've somehow managed to avoid spoilers on the prologues, so where's everybody going? Makes more sense to go for this one, but okay. Oh jeez. Trying not, oh goodness. Get off me.
Our harvest begins.
Whoa. Nope. No thank you. Thank you, sir. Other people are back over here. See, this is why sometimes I honestly consider going and respecking for stabs. Just for situations like this. But there might not be a whole lot of people, but damn it, people need to be kept alive.
Your attack. That gives you a glimmer.
Okay.
One pipe is enough. The exchange
And that.
completion.
Like that. There are not a whole lot of people here, but somehow we're doing pretty good, despite there only being like a couple of us. I am genuinely surprised. Especially with these big boys over here. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed this Flesh Atronach back here, or Abomination, I guess.
So what if the winds die? This storm has served its purpose.
Oh, that's the Titan. It's a Titan, not a Goliath. This is the flame thing I was talking about, by the way. If you're not prepared and you don't notice it coming, it hurts. It freaking hurts. not great. I think the others were taking out the abomination before dealing with him, which is perfectly viable. It's just not a tactic I personally prefer because he's annoying. And technically the abominations are ads anyway. I really do not like needing to dodge as I'm doing an ultimate. It happens, I just don't like doing it, or needing to. I guess maybe that makes me a bad DPS. Because I always get annoyed as a healer when DPS players don't move out of the bad and they just stay there. So I don't know, maybe that makes me a bad DPS. It probably does, but it just feels like I waste my ult if I move when that happens. I don't know. I think it'd be different if it wasn't a situation where, oh, I just popped my ultimate ability, and oh look, there's a thing I need to dodge out of. I know it happens, I know it's obnoxious, but alright, so we're just gonna come over here for a second onto an actual road for a couple of things. Mainly, so we can talk Markarth Prologue, because I'm excited about the Markarth Prologue. I'm excited about Markarth in general. I'm not entirely sure what it's gonna look like yet, but from the pictures I have seen, I am excited. But also, one second. Wrong button. Gaily in particular may want to pay attention because this outfit that you have been wanting, it is in the crown store right now for like the next few days. You can pick it up for about 1,000 crowns in the store. This is the outfit. It's a little too revealing for me personally. This is more thigh than I'm personally comfortable with this character showing. I feel like if the legs were like more covered, I'd like it more. But again, it's just a personal preference thing. Like, for me, this just, I don't know. I know this wouldn't be the sort of outfit that you'd wear in a combat situation. But given that this is a combat character, I feel like more of her should be covered than it currently is. But also, as I say this, if you're looking for the quest starter for the Markarth Prologue, there is a quest starter drop menu in the Crown Store. These are always free, so you can pick up, I've got here the prologues for Elsewhere and Dragon Guard, and this is the one we did before Greymoor. So, like, these are here. They're free. You can just come and pick them up. But this is the one we need to pick up right now. The Raven Watch Inquiry, which, I'm excited. Because Gwendis is mentioned. And, I love me some Gwendis. Gwendis, for anybody who doesn't know, we met her down in Rivenspire initially. She was turned into a vampire by Verandis Ravenwatch in Rivenspire. Coincidentally enough, as was Fenorian, for anybody who has been hanging out on our stream and remembers our beloved Fen, who definitely grew on me. The man grew on me, I will not lie. I didn't want to like him, but I did. But this is where we go to pick this up. Again, it's free. It's gonna cost you nothing. So all we have to go on right now is the Raven Watch, a society of vampires working for the greater good, has requested I meet with their agent Gwendis to find out more about the Grey Host. This is the prologue from Markarth. We're going to pick this up. Hey Pythagoras, how are you? I don't know where I go for this. They don't actually give you a location. So where is this? Oh geez, that is all the way back there. Okay. I was not expecting to need to go back to Volkelgard, but apparently we're going to. I was not anticipating that. If I knew that was going to happen, I would have ported there before, but... Now, it's Volkelgard for me because this character is a Dominion character. If you have a character that belongs to the Ebonheart Pact, you will most likely be in, I want to say it's the Stonefalls area. If you're Covenant character, you're going to be around Daggerfall for this. At least when you start off. Good, I'll be at my current responsibilities. Oops. What are responsibilities? Can you eat them? I wish you could eat them. Although they probably wouldn't be very tasty. I don't know, what do you guys think? What would responsibilities taste like?
Praise Vivek! You were there to stop Alexandra Cannell from capturing the Coral Heart.
I feel like, for me personally, responsibilities... I want to say responsibilities taste crunchy. I don't know why I want to say crunch. But that is what I want to say. Like bitter water. Oh, that's a good one, too. Gwendis, what are you doing over here? Not used to seeing you over here. Oh, she got an outfit upgrade! I think she got an outfit upgrade. I don't remember her being this covered last time. So how do I get the do I get the outfit? Because I'm tempted to get the outfit. I mean, if you want it, I say treat yourself, but that's just me. I want to be as cool as Gwendis, to be honest. I mean, look at her. She's freaking cool. I also, part of me is a little sad. Like, as much as I love Gwendis, and I do love me some Gwendis, I'm a little sad that we have yet to really run into a Dusadaro. A Dusadaro who, if you don't remember, is a Khajiit, who is also a Ravenwatch vampire. We worked with her a lot in Ravenspire. So that's probably why we didn't get her for this, but... Like, please, more Khajiit friends. I love the Khajiit so much.
What? Saving Skyrim wasn't enough for you? Had to sign on for even more heroics? It's good to see you. I could use your help. You know better than anyone what we're dealing with. We need to figure out exactly what the Grey Host is up to.
Hello, Gwendis. Do you need help with the investigation?
You know the Raven Watch deals with threats all the time. Trouble is, there's never been a threat consisting of a reborn army of vampires and werewolves from the First Era. So yes, I could use some help. We need to know what they're planning.
What do we know so far?
We know that one of the original ruling members of the Grey Host is rebuilding their army, gathering vampires and werewolves to their banner. And we know they're experimenting with life energy. So, what do you say? Ready for another adventure?
I'll help you find out more about the Grey Host. Of course.
Everything I learned up to now points in the same direction. Bankerai Garrison. There's a scholar named Norette Deal there who may be able to tell us more about the Grey Host and how they were defeated. Cart's over there when you're ready to go.
There's other stuff I also want, just not sure if I want it more or less, but they seem to be from the permanent options, so I could get them later. So even options that have been in the store for a while do tend to get rotated out at some point. But I personally would encourage getting the thing that's only there for like a short amount of time. because this is just me speaking from experience. There is that one occasional costume I put on this stream, which is the Queen's Eye Spymaster. I think it's the one outfit that has the hood with the permanent cat ears at the top of it. I missed out on that when it was in the store, and I was only able to acquire it again through a crate that got recycled and came back into this Crown store. They had it out for Black Friday, I think, and for some reason, even though part of me was like, I want that, I didn't jump on it. And I know personally I was very, very disappointed when it actually rotated out again and the sale was over. So I do encourage acquiring the temporary thing while it is currently available to you as a result of that. Because I remember how I felt when that thing disappeared. And like I don't want anybody else to suffer through that, to be quite honest. Okay, so tell me what you've learned.
My research has uncovered pieces, but I hope the scholars at the Bankarai garrison can put the puzzle together. Members of the Grey Host experimented with life energy, and at least one of their leaders survived their defeat in the ancient past.
Tell me about the Grey Host survivor?
My research indicates a council ruled the Grey Host. One of those leaders fell out of favor and another survived the final battle. A Durrani noble with connections to Viridian Watch gave the survivor sanctuary. In return, they made her a vampire.
Ooh. Tell me more about the experiments with life energy?
In the ancient past, the Grey Host sought to use life energy to draw souls into containment vessels called stone husks. It had something to do with returning the dead to life. I think there's a new Grey Host, and they've revived those experiments.
Anything else I need to know before we head out?
Probably, but nothing that can't wait. Let's take the cart to the Bankarai garrison and find the scholars who can tell us more about the history of the Grey Host.
Is anyone else investigating this?
For the moment. There are an awful lot of evil conspiracies afoot in Tamriel, and not nearly enough Ravenwatch members to investigate them all. But this isn't a one-person job, which is why we recruited help.
What are the rest of the Ravenwatch doing?
No idea. They're spread out. Adusa, for example, mentioned something about necromancers raising bone giants and elsewhere, but she probably wanted to refill her moon sugar stores. Fenorian could be anywhere. He does tend to sneak around.
What do you hope to accomplish at the Bankarai garrison?
I'm hoping a scholar of ancient Bankarai battles named Lorette Deal or one of her colleagues can tell us more about the Grey Host. With any luck, they have information about the Grey Host that's not too outlandish.
What do you mean outlandish?
The priests have this old holy text that claims St. Pelin leapt off the garrison's walls, landed among the host, asked Stendar for endless blood, and then fed them all without dying. Then the garrison dropped some rocks on them. See? Outlandish.
So you want more reasonable answers, which is completely understandable.
Exactly. We need practical facts about how the Grey Host was defeated at Bankarai garrison. Hopefully Scholar Deal can provide them.
Well, let's hop on the cart and go to Bankarai garrison. God, I haven't been back to Bankarai in a while. I think actually, no, that's not true. That is not true. I was in Bankarai doing treasure hunts. I was definitely hunting for treasure out in Bankarai. Because I still have maps and things and surveys in my bags I need to get rid of. The surveys especially, because that is valuable crafting material. And, you know, when you're leveling crafters, every little bit helps. A couple weeks ago, I actually learned that a friend of mine winds up deleting their surveys and doesn't actually do them. And I was kind of horrified. Like, it's not that bad. Just go to a location and harvest crafting nodes. They're useful. Don't do the thing, please. It stresses me out a little bit, to be quite honest with you guys. Like, to my mind, just just do the thing. It hurts me too a little bit, to be quite honest with you, Yumi. I just want to be like, do the thing. They're valuable materials. It's not that hard. Okay, where are we going?
Well, this isn't at all what I expected. What happened here?
Well, do you want the short version?
Nice camp, I suppose.
Oh, I like her outfit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you here for a tour? I'm afraid they've all been suspended until this mess with the Imperial Army is resolved. If I could offer a suggestion, turn around and head for the safety of Evermore's walls.
I resolved this situation. This shouldn't be happening. We came a long way, though, to ask you about the Grey Host.
As you can plainly see, now is not a good time. My fellow scholars and I fled when Septima Tharn and her Daedra-worshipping zealots attacked. We barely got out before the first impacts from their ballistae shook the walls.
Okay, but you can rest easy. High King Emmerich and I retook the garrison.
You did? Why didn't any of the knights report this? No one tells scholars anything. Well, if that's true, and I see no reason you'd offer such an audacious lie, then thank you. Septima Tharn is mad. Had we stayed, she would have fed us to her Daedra.
Now that things have settled down, can I ask you some questions about the Grey Host?
I'm sorry. Concern for my colleagues and the Pyre Watch warrior who accompanied them has my thoughts in a jumble. Come to think of it, the Pyre Watch are experts on the Grey Host. Find my friends, and I'm sure the warrior will answer your questions.
I'm actually familiar with the Pyre Watch. I met a member not too long ago.
Then you know how brave and knowledgeable they are. One of their warriors was here recruiting when the garrison came under attack. She offered to protect the scholars that fled, and I haven't seen them since. I fear for their safety. Can you help?
I'll find them. Yeah, sure.
Cogleen and Indus fled in the direction of Evermore with the Pyre Watch warrior, while Jannard headed toward Kerbal's Hollow. Please be careful. The wilderness can be treacherous between here and there.
Isn't there anything at all you can tell me about the Grey Host?
Even if my mind wasn't clouded with worry, I'm an expert on the Second Era. My First Era knowledge is extremely limited. The Pyre Watch knows more about the Grey Host than anyone. Find her and my friends, and she'll provide the answers you seek.
Okay, I will go find them then.
Thank you, friend. When you return with the scholars safely in tow, we should be able to put our collective heads together and dredge up that ancient history. That is, if the Pyre Watch warrior hasn't already satisfied your curiosity.
Hi, Gwendis.
This scholar's research doesn't go back to the First Era, and the other scholars fled? That puts a wrinkle in our plans, all right. This Pyre Watch warrior is a promising lead, though. Let's go find her and the other scholars.
Scholar Deal says the missing scholars ran in 2 different directions.
I heard. Let's split up and go after them. I'll take Kerbal's Hollow. You head toward Evermore. Here, I'll mark it on your map.
You know, I met a member of the Pyre Watch.
Yeah, my brother Fenorian mentioned something about that. I should have thought of them earlier, but they're pretty secretive and reclusive. We're lucky one left their post to consult with the scholars. Go find them and then meet me back here.
I'll meet you back here with them.
Find the scholars, but try not to get eaten by anything.
No promises. To be fair, anything down here has the Really? Really? Right in my freaking way. Like, how dare? Molag Bal, I have a schedule. Why are you doing this to me? Molag Bal, I do not have time for your nonsense. I absolutely do not have time for your nonsense. Now, I'm saying Molag Bal only because usually this is who's dropping this on me. But considering these are vampires and not, like, anything he's dropping.
Stranger. In the air, in the earth, in your soul. The mounting sound of distant doom beginning quietly but somehow unnoticeably louder now. Like a tidal wave that comes doom on all that will be.
Hi, Antu. How you doing? Also, I hope you guys enjoy our Halloween alerts. I'm quite fond of them. They're very adorable. Somebody's up here.
You there. Come.
Would be a relief.
Hi.
You don't look like a refugee. Are you a soldier from the garrison? What news of the Imperial attack?
Huh? Huh? Didn't see that coming, did you?
I did not. I am effing wrecked. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Antu. Virtual hugs. Scholar Deal sent me to find you. She has a camp outside the garrison walls.
Oh, that's wonderful news. Cogleen and I intended to head straight for Evermore. But the cursed Imperials caught up with us. They would have captured us if not for that Pyre Watch warrior. Have you seen her? Is she alive?
I haven't yet. Scholar Deal said she was leading you towards Evermore.
She was, but we ran into Imperials. The Pyre Watch warrior distracted the soldiers and ordered me to flee. Then she took Cogleen and headed west. Please, find them. I worry for their safety.
I'll go find them. You go to Scholar Deal's camp.
I will go to Scholar Deal's camp now. We are most fortunate you came to our aid.
You know, I came here for information about the Grey Host of the First Era. What can you tell me? What can you tell me?
Other than the fact that they were defeated here centuries ago, not much, I'm afraid. I can tell you Empress Hestra's legions came to the aid of Bankarai garrison. That's why Hyrok became part of the Alessian Empire for a time.
I love that we have the option to, like, poke these guys about the Grey Host, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's a little like, we have more urgent problems, but I want to find out all the dialogue. You must know something else about the Grey Host.
Alas, you seek facts and figures that I don't have readily at hand. Perhaps when I can retrieve my papers from inside the garrison? You know, the Pyre Watch warrior might be able to help you. They're experts on the Grey Hosts of the First Era.
I want milk and donuts now. I do not blame you. That sounds amazing.
May Tall Papa guide your steps.
Also, I'm just noticing there's so much here that I didn't actually do. I still have like so much on these maps that I have not actually
I can't do my job.
not actually done.
What's going on?
Which at some point I really need to do because map completion. And it's weird because, again, map completion has never really been something that I've ever wanted to do in other games, but for some reason I really want to do it in this one. I don't know why. Are you... Aha!
Over here. You're the first thing I've seen that isn't an undead monstrosity. Oh, lovely. Are you with the garrison? Please, tell me you're here to rescue me.
Scholar Deal sent me to find you. She has a camp outside the garrison's walls.
Oh, thanks, Stendar. I thought I could make it to Evermore, but I tired myself out. When I tried to pass through the old graveyard, I ran into unspeakable horrors. Thought I was finished. I'll head back now. Oh, say, did you find that Pyre Watch warrior?
No, I haven't. Scholar Indo said she left to find you.
When the Imperials came after us, she managed to distract them and ordered me to run to the graveyard. I think she headed for the Crypt of the Exiles. Oh, I hope she found shelter within. We owe her our lives. Please, will you go check on her?
I'll check the crypt. Get to the camp.
I'll find Scholar Deal's camp straight away. I am in your debt. If I can do anything to aid you, all you have to do is ask.
I'm not gonna bug him too much about
Be safe.
everything else because this warrior is slightly higher priority. Oh, jeez! Surprise Hag Raven. Surprise Hag Raven. Oh, God. Good luck with that, Antu. Good luck. Oh, looks like we have to go into a delve that I've not yet done, so I'm here for this. Plus, there's also a sky shard in here I have not collected. And I would like it. Okay, so where are we going? Yeah, we're gonna loop around that way. Okay. What even is in here? Oh, undead is what's in here. Sure. Orders from Knight Commander Varain. Dame Frederique, I'm sending you on a mission of the utmost importance. High King Emmerich has requested we undertake this effort as a favor to King Vaharaj out of Sentinel. Your request that be handled quickly. Seems a Redguard warrior named Ulbazar is believed to have died within the Crypt of Exiles. Ulbazar committed a blasphemous crime before fleeing from the Alakir Desert. He stole a precious Redguard artifact, the Memory Stone of Makela Leki. The search for Ulbazar's sepulcher and search the crypt for the sepulcher, and you'll hopefully find the Memory Stone. Bring the stone to a Redguard scholar named Medaima, who will be waiting for you at Martyr's Crossing. May Saint Pelin be with you, Knight Commander Varain. Okay, so we gotta find a stone in here too. Cool. Gonna again go this way because Sky Shard's this way. So. Also, somebody has definitely been through here before me. At least I thought they had, considering. Skeevers. These ones are creepier looking. I don't know. I think that's just me. Oh, great. Ghosts, too, because why not? Why not have there be ghosts in this weird place? I mean, it is a crypt. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. But I was not anticipating needing to deal with ghosts on top of other things. I don't know why. This is not something that occurred to me. Oh, and there are ghosts guarding the Sky Shard. Sure, why not? I came here for the Sky Shard, damn it. I'm going to use this thing. Oh, look, somebody left coins there. Well, they're mine now. Probably should not be stealing things from a grave, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, we're gonna try to sneak through here as much as we can. Sometimes you don't want to murder everything. Apparently you've also got exiled warriors in here, which... why? All the weird things. Oh god. I say exiled, but apparently they're undead. They're all apparently undead. I'm gonna grab the sepulcher while I'm here.
Come forward, you godless mongrel.
Hi.
By Tuwaka's mercy, it's you.
Zalaria!
I am sorry I did not recognize you in the shadows. Is Fenorian with you? No, you are alone. What adventure makes our paths cross again, my friend?
Not quite, Pythagoras. Have you played that, by the way? I haven't yet. Scholar Deal sent me to find you in the Scholars. She has a camp set up outside the garrison's walls.
It gladdens my heart to hear that Scholar Deal is safe. But what of the other scholars? Did my efforts to lead the Imperials away allow them to get away?
I located Scholars Coglan and Indos. They sent them back to Deal's camp.
That is truly fortunate. As for me, I escaped the Imperials only to find myself surrounded by ancient undead. Let us speak outside. I will follow your lead. May Onsi guide your blade.
Follow me.
Lead on, Wayfarer.
I'm hoping... because we haven't gotten a notice that this is completed yet, so I can only assume the boss lies this way. We absolutely have not completed this yet. And I just want this delve to be marked as complete. all I want. Then I can get out of here. But yeah, I will be honest, there's a part of me that's tempted to give it a shot. Phasmophobia, I mean, but at the same time, I know how easily freaked out I get. So my worry is that I'm just gonna spend the entire time screaming. I love that she has a weapon and she's not actually helping with this, by the way. I don't know why that amuses me. It just sort of does. There he is. There's the dude. This is who I'm trying to Where did you go? Sir, how dare you? It's very rude when I'm trying to kill you. You just up and F off like that. Okay, now we can get out of here. Oh, and of course, literally everything respawned in the process. Yes, of course it did. Yay. At least getting out of here is pretty straightforward, but... Can I sneak past that ghost? Probably not. Oh my god, I snuck past it. I got spooked by a notification earlier, so... It'll do that. It'll do that. I did purposely switch up my notifications to be a bit more spooky. But, it's just more of like a fun, innocent sort of spooky. At least I thought they were more of an innocent sort of spooky. But I tend to get startled by my own alerts a lot, as it is, so. Okay. Can't go that way. Are you living or are you dead? You're dead. Okay. So, hold on. There is... I'll get you, Ulbazar. What is this? Ulbazar thinks he can lock me in this cage like an animal? Why? Because I wanted to feed myself and my family? They've forgotten about us. They aren't sending in more food. We have to take what we can. If he hadn't stolen that memory stone, we wouldn't be in this mess. That's the reason they won't let us out. It's all because of him. Tell me why we should let good flesh just rot away while our families starve. Does that make any sense? And so we have this dude who just wants out because he effed up. I'm not sure if that's actually what happened, but that's the version of the story I'm going with. It's very purple over here. Very purple lighting. Now let's get out of here. We did it.
Let us see the sky once more.
I mean, yes. As soon as I murder this dude. Back out to Bankarai. I will be honest, I was not... For some reason, I didn't think this would take as long as it's taking. I'm not complaining. I'm absolutely not complaining, but I'm a little surprised. I never expect prologue quests to last as long as they do.
I came to Bankarai Garrison seeking recruits for the Pyre Watch. Hunding help us, I did not expect those villains to arrive and send innocent people fleeing for shelter. I am grateful you saved the scholars. Now what can I do for you in return?
I'm looking for information about the Grey Host of the First Era.
The Grey Host was a terrible army of vampires, werewolves, and other monsters that pillaged the land. Only the combined might of the Bankarai garrison and the Alessian Empire finally defeated them. That story, unfortunately, is mired in legend.
I don't know, Yumi. It does kind of sound like her a bit, doesn't it? So there's nothing you can tell me about how the Grey Host was defeated?
The true story may be as enthralling as the legends, but we only have bits and pieces of it. Magic was involved, almost certainly. But whether it was divine in nature or Alessian sorcery, we have never been able to determine.
There has to be something you know that can help us understand the Grey Host.
I can delve into the records of my order when I return to our sanctum. But understand that the Watch is concerned with keeping the past buried, not exposing it. I can tell you that there are indications that one of the hosts survived the slaughter.
We learned something similar. A Durrani noble offered the survivors sanctuary?
A Durrani noble? That gives some credence to the historical record. An incomplete parchment mentioned Viridian Watch, but we never saw the significance. It also said that only the worthy could enter the sanctuary. We never determined what that meant.
I need to tell my associate Gwendis about this. You should return to Scholar Deal's camp.
I do not know the nature of your mission, Wayfarer, and I still have my own to uphold. But if you seek answers about the Grey Host, then may Mara bless your search.
Can you tell me anything about the Viridian Watch?
I know precious little. I never visited the site myself. Though incomplete, the historical record indicates the survivor hid in a concealed space that they were guided to. Perhaps that has something to do with the idea of being worthy.
Tell me more about that part of the record.
There wasn't much. Just that the worthy would be guided to safety. Perhaps that is the key, if you can determine what worthy means to a vile vampire. Any place associated with the Grey Host cannot be trusted. Evil does not fade. So be on your guard.
Okay, now I'm just curious, though. Hold on. Google! Google, tell me things. Oh, jeez. I did not realize, apparently, in saying that, as I did, it activated the Google Assistant on my phone. That was not intended. Who are you? Who voices Shalaria? Can you tell me, Internet? No, the Internet will not tell me. Internet, you are failing me miserably. How dare? How dare you? Yeah, I've got nothing as far as voice actress right now. But yes, somebody please feel free to search for that.
Thank you again. Wait.
And let me know if you are more successful than I am, or was. First, we're coming back over here so we can give this quest we picked up down there to the right person. Also, it's very weird riding a Gwar. Gwars are so much more quiet than other mount types.
Do not concern yourself with me. My wounds are only superficial. There are many here in greater need of assistance than myself.
I have Michaela Lecky's memory stone.
You do? I was told the Knights of St. Pellen might return it, but with the attack on the garrison, I had given up. This is beyond amazing. I know King Faharajad will be grateful, and you have my personal thanks as well. All Sentinel will be thrilled at the return of the Memory Stone. It is a sacred relic, you know. I will tell the king your name, so he will know who did this.
Why is the memory stone so important?
Michaela Leckie was the greatest sword singer who ever lived by many people's estimation, and the stone is a record of her thoughts and experiences. It will take scholars many years to decipher the information within, but it will be worth it.
Alright, let's go Back to the garrison. Okay, I don't know if this is just on my end or if you guys can hear this as well, but I swear to God, this war walking, I swear walking just sounds like it's making these little pap, pap, pap noises. I don't know if that's me or if that's actually what's happening. But it is very cute.
There you are.
There's everybody. Hi, Gwendis.
Good. You're back. I found Janard and I see you've managed to return with the rest. Show off. Now that we settled that matter, what did the Pyre Watch warrior tell you about the Grey Host?
Stellaria said the historical record is incomplete concerning the details of the Grey Host.
I was afraid of that. So much about the First Era has been lost. I wonder if the Pyre Watch knows anything about the other details we learned. About the survivor and their connection to a Dreni noble.
She confirmed there was a survivor and that they may have taken sanctuary in Viridian Watch.
That matches what we already uncovered, and confirms the Dreni connection. Did you find out anything else I should know?
Apparently the legend says the way to safety was only available to those worthy to receive it.
A riddle, damn it. There's always a riddle. Well, I say we go to Viridian Watch and figure this out on our own. I'll mark the location on your map. Now let's go before Scholar Deal tries to regale me with more tales of the Knights of St. Pellen.
I'll meet you inside.
I'll meet you at Viridian Watch.
This is the other scholar.
I never read anything about a survivor fleeing to Viridian Watch. Not that I keep up on my Grey Host history all that much, but still, that's quite a shocking revelation. If you find anything, I hope you'll come back and add it to our records.
Okay, so I don't know if that's just you guys agreeing with me, or if you two think it makes little pap noises. But in any case... Yeah! Okay, this boss was taken out before I got here. So I can just cross on through. It's a good war. Whoops. War sadly cannot survive. The Guar cannot withstand the might of water. Where are we even going? Oh, we're going over this way, so I need to swim. This is the one moment. Anytime swimming is involved, I always lament my character not being Argonian. I say this every time swimming is involved, and I'm aware of that. The reason I say this is because Argonians in ESO have like a bonus to their swim speed. So they can swim anything a lot faster than I can. And let's just say that'd be nice sometimes. To be able to swim a bit faster. Because you can't sprint in the water. So it's a little annoying. I didn't know it would actually do that. Oh, looks like we're going down into another delve. Cool. Have I done this one? I don't know if I've done this one at this point. I honestly don't know what I've done and have not done. It's terrible. We've done this delve. Viridian Watch. No, we have not. Okay. Hi, Gwendis. Come on.
Look. There's a sigil, right there. Don't you see it?
No, I do not.
It makes so much sense. The riddle. Only those worthy can find the way to safety. Only vampires and werewolves can see these sigils. That explains why no one ever found anything.
Okay, so the way she says that, I honestly wonder if you have a character that's, been turned into a vampire or a werewolf if you see the sigils she's talking about. Because Mike, the character I'm playing this on, is not a werewolf or a vampire. So it makes sense that I don't see anything. But I kind of wonder if, if you're a vampire or a werewolf, if you can see what she's talking about. I don't see any sigils.
That's because you aren't a vampire or a werewolf. Hold on, I've got just the thing. Here, a blood pendant. It lets me share some of my vampiric essence so you can see the sigils too. It's perfectly safe. At least, Fenorian said it was harmless.
Okay, so what's our next step?
We follow the sigils, of course. The Grey Host survivor must have used these as a guide, and they were made for that specific purpose. Now, let's see where they lead.
Alright, let's go. Oh, okay.
Another one. Keep going west.
Okay, sure. I don't know if this is the right way. The sigils say they are, so I'm gonna trust them.
Here. Not that we have a choice.
I'm gonna trust them. Apparently, I got the sky shard that was in here already. So...
East. Down that tunnel.
Yes, thank you, Gwendis. It's not like I can't see for myself. Oh god. You stop that. I love that the fact that I'm here with an NPC who might actually be able to help me and is not actually helping me. I'm assuming we go this way, considering any other way I was not capable of seeing.
Let's go south. Up those steps.
You stop that.
East here. And down again.
At least Gwendis is narrating.
Another one. You'll see around this corner.
Okay, so this way is marked as done.
Keep going straight. I think we're close. Ha! This must be it! Now how to go about opening it.
It says watch Gwendis, so...
That's done it. Let's check inside.
Whoa. Check that out. That is some gorgeous paint on that wall. Also, we have a journal down here. But I don't think it's relevant. So let's go into the sanctuary. Oh, wow. Hi, Gwendis.
Even thousands of years later, I smell faint traces of blood, sweat, and fear. A Grey Host survivor definitely hid out here. Let's have a look around.
That is an adorable bee. There are things in here, and I want to loot them, and I can't loot them all, and I'm sad about it. To the all-powerful and illustrious Lord Rada al-Saran, I created this sanctuary to account for the unfortunate possibility of the battle going awry. Now word has reached me of the Grey Host's defeat. I fear the worst has come to pass. Damned Styrakes? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Recklessness and his sickening ego. It is truly unjust that a man who brokered the deal with Mowag Ball should be the downfall of a great order. If you're reading this, I know it must have been painful to fight tirelessly only to watch your brothers and sisters fall around you, but you must survive. You will speak for those who have fallen. You must continue the legacy. I hope you did not have trouble locating this safe haven. I made sure to mark the way with magic blood sigils that only one of your distinction would be able to detect. There are healing poultices and bandages in case you were injured, and bound prisoners for when you need to feed. Know that you're protected here. No harm will come to you. I will check on this refuge in a few days once it's safe to do so. I hope to find you well and that my act of dedication to you and your cause reflects well upon me. I am ever your loyal servant, and should you choose to grace me with the gift of immortality, I shall spend eternity as Lady Thorn in service to you as we rebuild what was lost. Your devoted servant, Lady Ingerian of Clan Doreni.
Rada Al-Saran was a survivor. That figures. And Lady Thorn helped him. Or should I say, Lady Ingrin?
And now we keep searching. An odd signet. A strange signet which shows no signs of decay or wear.
Wait, what's that? Let me see it. I recognize this signet, but that doesn't make any sense.
Does it have something to do with the Grey Host?
I don't know. No, this can't be. But it is, isn't it? Damn it. I don't like where this is going.
What's wrong?
I've seen this signet before, or one just like it. My mentor, Count Verandis, had one. But why would he have something connected to the Grey Host? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but there has to be an explanation.
You're right, of course. There must be something we're missing. We need answers, and there's only one place to find them. Ravenwatch Castle in Rivenspire. Let's go. I'll explain more when we get there. I need time to think.
Let's go. We do at some point. Yes. All of the dungeons. At some point, I would like to try to, or maybe do, like, community dungeon runs or something, but, you know, I don't know a whole lot about the dungeons on the whole as it is, so I don't know if that would be a good idea or not. Hi, Gwendis.
Good, you made it. So, I've had some time to think. I know this may seem a little unorthodox, but I want to go into the castle through the secret passage.
Secret? Isn't this your castle?
Yes, but we just learned that Count Verandis may have been involved with the Grey Host thousands of years ago and never told us. That disturbs me, and that never happens. I want to investigate this quietly before I involve the rest of the family.
But Verandis is gone. Why sneak in the back?
Other members of the house might be around. If they see us, they'll ask questions. I don't want to sully Verandis' memory with whatever this is. Not until we know for sure. I want to figure this out before we involve anyone else.
Bella says it's time to squeak toys. Hi, Bella. You have the right idea. Verandis gave his life to save Rivenspire, though. Does it matter what he did thousands of years ago?
I don't want it to matter, but it does. Why would he keep this from me? I need to see what's in the castle cellar. That's where he stored his private possessions. We followed his wishes and never disturbed the place. Until now. Come on, let's go.
Let's investigate the cellar, then.
This way. The door's over here.
Never gone in this way.
Watch out for vermin. We don't fumigate down here as often as we should.
Vermin. Good to know. Where are we even going? I'm hoping this is the right way. I have no map down here. So I'm not sure if I'm even going the right way. It looks like... Oh, jeez! Why? Why does Verandis have this in his basement? Why does he have undead things in his basement that aren't vampires? Come on now. Gwendis.
Let's hurry to the cellar. I'm fairly certain I can get it unlocked.
Gwendis, we're going to F something up, aren't we?
Give me a moment. Hurry now. Inside. See if you can find the signet. It must be in one of these crates or boxes.
I will... Part of me... Hold on. Sorry. Here. Part of me will honestly laugh if we open one of these things and, like... If I open this armoire, for example, and Verandis just falls out of the wardrobe. I know that's probably not gonna happen. It'd be hilarious if it did, though. Let's be real.
Just a crate of knickknacks. Nothing important. Keep looking.
I mean, Verandas, as far as I know, is still in Cold Harbor somewhere with Moloch Ball. Because he had to make a deal with the one who created him in order to save Revenspire. Yeah, it would be hilarious, let's be fair. Just open that armoire and then surprise Verandas. Again, it's probably not going to happen, as hilarious as that would be. Okay, let's go with this big one back here.
Not in there either. Ugh, Verandas. Why are you so good at hiding things?
Because it's Verandas.
Empty flasks. Good to know they're here, but not what we need at present. Another secret door? I didn't know that was here. It has the same mark as the signet. Maybe.
I was not expecting that.
Opened. Let's see what's inside.
I feel like this is a bad idea, but okay, here we go.
What is this place? Did Verandas use this as a secret study? Check the desk, would you?
I will, just as soon as I go and raid his bookshelves. Sometimes we get shiny new things. Oh god, I don't want to sit in his chair. That's just weird. That is just weird. I don't want to sit in his chair. To my dear friend, Verandas. I know that your ceaseless quest to appease and coddle the mortals takes a great deal of your time, but I must insist that you take a brief respite from your work to come visit the great castle we erected in your absence. It truly is magnificent. I firmly believe that when the peace we both seek is realized, Greyholm will stand among the wonders of the world. It will be a beacon of hope for our kind and the mortals who serve us, a grand reminder that anything is possible with hard work and vision. Your absence is felt here. The Grey Council rules the Grey Host, but your seat at our table remains empty. Verandas, what the fuck? Even Exarch Ulfra feels your loss, though she would never admit it. Come, my friend, visit us at Greyholm. We created a laboratory that rivals anything in the Mages Guild. I have no doubt that you and Exarch Singalis can complete your research there. I've drawn a map on the back of this letter to guide you on to the island. Return to us, Verandas. Return to the Grey Council, to your family and to your home. Your beloved brother, Rada al-Saran. Verandas, what the fuck? You are a good boy. This is not you. Why?
That letter. What does it say?
Where did this cat come from? I'm hoping that is that person's non-combat pet.
That letter. Please tell me it's just an old to-do list or something, and not actually proof that the man I trusted with my life was involved with the Grey Host.
This letter suggests Count Verandas was a member of the Grey Host.
What? Verandas, how could you? I don't want to believe it, and yet here it is, right before my very eyes. Why didn't he ever tell me? I thought I knew everything there was to know about him. No, there has to be more. What else does the letter say?
It mentions an island and a Grey Host castle. There's the map, too.
It's possible that castle no longer exists, but I want to go. I refuse to believe Verandas was part of the Grey Host. There has to be more to this. Some piece of the puzzle that makes sense of everything. Are you still with me?
I'll go with you.
Thank you. The cart's still waiting outside. We'll take it to the docks and travel by boat from there as we follow this map. Go on ahead. I want to take one more look around. Make sure we didn't miss anything.
I'll meet you by the cart. I really feel like that's what she's starting to be like, Yumi. I really feel like that. Like... Also, for anybody who doesn't get the reference, you need to watch more Steven Universe. That is all I will say. I will be good. It's a good show, though, and you should watch it. To the cart. Wendes? You okay?
I think I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Delaying the inevitable won't help anyone. and it won't get me the answers I need. Come on, let's go see what's on this secret island.
What do you think we'll find on the secret island?
Answers, I hope. Look, I have to do this. I'm going to see this journey through, no matter what truth waits at the end. Let's just go. The sooner we get this over with, the better. First, however, take this. You earned it. That letter we found. I can't believe Verandis was part of something as evil as the Grey Host. I guess we need to go to the secret island, and the castle if it still exists. I won't rest until I learn the truth. The whole truth.
How exactly do we get to the secret island?
We follow the map. We'll take the cart to Shornhelm's coast, hire a ship, and sail to the spot indicated on the back of the letter. Fingers crossed, we'll be there faster than you can say gore apple pie.
And what do we do when we get there?
Look around, and hopefully find nothing. Determine this was just all a big misunderstanding. That Verandis was never a member of the Grey Host. If not, then I suppose I want to find undeniable proof that my mentor was a monster. So, can we go now?
I'm ready.
This still doesn't feel entirely real. I can't believe we found a letter tying Verandis to the Grey Host. From Rada al-Saran of all people. At least there's a map. Let's find this damned island and finish this. The cart's waiting.
Alright, so we are going to do this. However, we are at the halfway point, so I think now is a good time for a break. Because we have unpacked a lot. We have unpacked so much, you guys. First off, that Verandis might not be the person we thought he was this entire time. Which, this is weird. Speaking of Steven Universe, though, it reminds me about certain revelations about Rose, and I don't know how I personally feel about that. So that's a thing. Like we've learned a lot right now, and it's a lot. I mentally need a bit to process this. I don't know about anybody else, but we are going to take a very brief break. Be gone about like 5 minutes or so. I will briefly run a Twitch ad in the time that I am gone. If you're subbed to the channel, that's not something you're gonna have to worry about. You never see ads anyway. If you are subbed to the channel, however, there will be an ad. It's gonna run for about a minute or so. If you're not subbed to the channel, you will not miss anything. I promise you, the ad will be over long before I get back. So please feel free to get up and move around for a bit, because it's not good to sit in one place for 3 hours straight. Just trust me on this, it's not fun. So, get up and move about, and we will reconvene in like 5 minutes or so. Be right back. And we're back. A bit sooner than 5 minutes. It's fine. But I am eager to get to the next phase of this. Because we are seeing things I was not expecting to see. Feel kind of bad for Gwendis, to be honest.
Entirely real.
Also, Pythagoras, it's funny to me that you redeemed that, considering part of what I was doing while I was getting up was getting more water. Okay, first of all, that loading screen was freaking gorgeous. That loading screen was gorgeous. Second of all, are we... No, this is too far out. This is too far out, but aesthetically, this looks... Aesthetically, this looks very similar to, somewhere we went in Skyrim, and I don't know... I don't think this is the same place. I don't think it can be the same place, can it? Can it? Hold on. I need to look this up. Grey home, here we go. No, I think it might just be similar. Maybe. No, not that. At all. This, I swear to God, this looks... Is it? No, it can't be. This has to be a different thing, but I swear this aesthetic reminds me so much of that one vampire castle that we got to go to in Skyrim. But at the same time, I don't think this can be that place. I don't think this can be. But it looks so similar to it.
This is where the map led us. A lovely and ominous spot for a foreboding Grey Host castle, don't you think? If we can't find something about Rada al-Saran and Varandas here, then I'm not sure where else to look.
How do you want to do this?
Well, it seems obvious to start with the unnecessarily ostentatious vampire castle over there. I think we should survey the island first. The Grey Host may be gone, but they could have left traps. And who knows what kind of wildlife lives here.
What kind of traps?
I don't know. Something gothic and ridiculous. I don't like to generalize, but vampires tend toward the dramatic. Just be careful. We won't learn anything about Varandas and the Grey Host if we go and get ourselves killed.
Let's take a look around the island. I don't think this is the same place. It does look very similar, but I don't think this is it. What is that?
What is that thing? Did it just pulse at me?
Yes, it did.
Did you see that? That crystal thing clearly reacted. It pulsed as I approached it.
Do you think it's some kind of trap?
Well, it hasn't exploded or fried us to a crisp yet, so I'm thinking no. Probably not. I've seen something like this before, part of a ward. I think it responds to the presence of a vampire, like those sigils we saw.
So what do we do with the crystals?
Now that they're awake, it should be simple enough to deactivate them. I'm not sure if your eyes are as good as mine, but I think I see a few more up ahead. I'll keep watch while you deal with the crystals.
I'll try to deactivate them.
Well done. Let's go deal with the rest of the ward crystals.
I mean, it's possible they're also reacting to her because she's a vampire from Verandis' line. Like, that's the logic I'm running with, but I don't know if that's accurate. Well, these things are clearly not going to come and attack me, but they look like they should.
You're pretty good at this.
It's literally just touching a glowing rock. It's not like it takes a lot of brain cells. But I appreciate your praise, Blundus. Over one more. Here we go. At the top of this. This is a nice Gothic tower. Well, that sure is an owl.
Good job. Let's find another ward crystal.
I will seriously laugh if it turns out Verandis has been here in this castle this entire freaking time. I don't think that's anything at all like what's gonna happen. But I part of me will legitimately start laughing if it turns out he's just been hanging out here. And none of us ever knew. Again, I don't think at all that's what's going on, but part of me will still find it funny if accurate. Okay. Poking my head around the corner. Okay. No death hounds or anything. That's good. They're missing gargoyles here. I honestly feel like they'd come and attack us or something, but apparently not. It's fine. I'm okay with them not attacking us, to be quite honest with you guys.
That was definitely a rumble. Let's go check the castle.
I really do appreciate the architecture here. Like, it's stunning. It is stunning. And again, it really makes me, it's really reminiscent of the one vampire castle from the Skyrim vampire DLCs that I cannot remember the name of for the life of me right now for whatever reason. Skyrim taught me to never trust a gargoyle statue. It's true. This is very reminiscent of that place, though.
Clear. Let's see if we can get inside.
Yes, thank you, Yumi. Apparently we can get inside. Sweet.
I hate to admit it, but this place is impressive.
Ooh. There's a book over here. Spectral Assassins. Lord Rada al-Siran always reminds me, Exarch Singalis, my beloved brother, write down everything. You never know what may someday be important. It is a lesson I have taken to heart. My experiments with the frontline warriors have exceeded even my lofty expectations. Why settle for only vampire and werewolf combatants, when we can employ spectral soldiers that will fight for us and guard Castle Greyholm for all eternity? Using techniques pioneered by our reluctant brother and perfected by yours truly, I have crafted a method for pulling the life energy out of a vampire or werewolf, supercharging it, and turning an individual corporeal warrior into an incorporeal soldier of great tenacity and utter loyalty. The perfect spectral soldier. When time permits, I shall find a way to speed up the process so that we can create an entire battalion or more of these ghostly warriors. Then the Grey Host truly will be unstoppable. I don't like Singalis.
This place must have been impressive back in the day. but now it's just decrepit. Looks like it's been abandoned for centuries. Luckily, I came prepared. How do you feel about trying something unconventional?
What do you mean unconventional?
The members of House Ravenwatch exchange vials of their own blood. That shows a rare level of trust, even among vampires, since blood can be used in all sorts of spells, both beneficial and harmful. I brought some of Verandis' blood with me.
How is Verandis' blood gonna help us?
By putting a drop of his blood in this potion, we can dreamwalk and access any memories Verandis has of this place. I'll leave it here on the table for when you're ready. I'd drink it myself, but a dreamwalk requires an impartial participant.
Verandis had me use a dreamwalk potion to learn his history with House Dorell.
Then you're already an expert. You learned quite a bit from that experience, yes? Verandis isn't here, but by using his blood we can achieve the same result. I prepared the potion. It's on the table. Make sure you drink the whole thing.
Okay, I'll drink it and find out what I can. This is a terrible idea. But we're gonna be Verandis for a few minutes, apparently.
Exarch Verandis, while we have your crates moved to your study, Exarch Singalis and Ulfra would like a word.
Wow, where even... Is this the same hallway?
It is good to see you, Exarch Verandis. Lord Rada al-Saran will be pleased you accepted his invitation. You have been terribly missed. Exarchs Ulfra and Singalis asked me to send you to them as soon as you arrived. They wish to speak with you.
I'm no exarch, dear Faustine. I want nothing to do with grandiose titles or Styrake's army.
Of course, Lord Verandis. My apologies. Please, you shouldn't keep the Exarchs waiting.
Where can I find Ulfra and Singalis?
Exarch Ulfra likes to look out over the courtyard from the eastern balcony. Exarch Singalis rarely leaves his laboratory on the upper level. Both want to see you. I will inform you once your crates have been moved to the study set aside for you.
Please take care of my apothecary chest. Many of the components are irreplaceable. Oh, jeez.
Verandis Ravenwatch. I don't believe we've had the pleasure. I am Pentarch Kavan Indoril.
I did not expect to find a member of House Indoril here. Why did you join the Grey Host?
An odd question from one of Rada al-Saran's esteemed Grey Council. We are all here for the same reasons, are we not? Power over life and death. Control over our own fate. In Vardenfell, I am the sixth of 8 sons. Here, I will become much more.
You may find that power bereft of companionship does not bring satisfaction.
Is that why you've returned after so long away? You were lonely? I must confess, I find every day away from the insufferable bickering of House Indoril a blessing. But perhaps we are cut from different cloth.
Indeed. Pleasure to have met you, Coven. That is clearly sarcasm. Maybe we go this way? I mean, apparently we can go any number of ways.
Verandis, my dear, it has been so long. Where have you been hiding yourself? You're not still pursuing that silly little hobby of yours, are you?
I'd hardly call forging a permanent peace between vampires and humans a hobby, Sanctus.
So you are. Oh, Verandis, your endless wellspring of positivity is absolutely refreshing. You are such a generous soul. I must say, the idea of giving up all I've earned and bled for to placate humans is quite hysterical.
If we continue to take from mortals without giving back, peace will not last.
But isn't that why we have thralls? So we can take as much as we wish. They don't mind, do they? Oh, are you going to speak with Lord Rada al-Saran? Be a dear and remind him we set aside some time to drink, would you?
Perhaps we'll speak later, Sanctus. To be fair, House Indoril is the religious house. It's true. It's true. Hello, Ulfra.
Can you smell them, Verandis? Prey on the wind. We should be out hunting them, not uselessly debating in these halls of stone.
You wanted to speak to me, Ulfra?
When you see Lord Rada al-Saran, do not continue your age-old argument. He needs to remain focused. I'll never understand your obsession with sheep, Verandis. There are hunters and prey. We are hunters. Your sympathy for prey borders on the insane.
You were mortal once.
As were you, until Molag Bal made you into something more, something worthy. Lord Hircine made me one of his most powerful hunters, because he knew mortality restricted me. I could not reach my full potential until he rescued me from that fate.
All I suggest is that we live in peace with mortals. They outnumber us, after all.
The wolf does not fear 1,000 rabbits. It merely enjoys the bounty Hircine has provided. Humans, no matter how large their pathetic armies grow, will never threaten us. Come to your senses, Verandis. Come back to your brothers and sisters.
I won't stop trying to convince you that my course is the correct one.
You're a fool, Verandis. You always have been. Why does Lord Rada al-Saran continue to humor you? We don't need you on the Grey Council. You aren't even fit to be one of Styric's foot soldiers.
Styric, okay.
Go bother someone else with your nonsense.
This is an impressive castle that Rada al-Saran has constructed.
Greyholm is impressive. I won't deny that. But I detest all the sitting around and debating. I'm a hunter. I ache to feel a mortal writhe in my grasp, to watch the blood spray against the dirt. Don't you?
You know that's not my way, Ulfra.
Why do I even try to talk to you about such things? Lord Rada al-Saran should have dealt with you years ago, but he keeps calling you back.
Because he likes me. I'm just saying.
Greetings.
Not this way. This way. It's kind of fun talking to these other vampires along the way.
Oh, Verandis, look! It's wonderful! Such pretty lights.
Greetings, Longstep. I'm surprised to see you so far from Valenwood. Oh, hi!
Oh, I'll admit I do miss the trees, but everyone is so friendly here, and the food, there's so much of it. Delicious, squirmy, screaming food. Does that bother you? The screaming? I recall us discussing such things last time we spoke.
I only feed on the willing. You should consider that.
Oh, but that's no fun, is it? It's like hunting a beast in a cage. Where's the challenge? No, Verandis, I'll take my prey squirmy and terrified. It gets the blood pumping. Nesby and I are going hunting later today. You must come.
Perhaps another time. And Nesby is this Khajiit here. Oh my god, will you look at this face veil situation she has going on? It's like a face veil and earrings. Why do we not get this? Like, why is this not a thing that we have access to? Because I want it. I want this. Like, why does the game not give us this? Also, I want to talk to everybody, so exploring a bit. Seeing who's where. I come through here first.
Is it true Wuthrad was stolen from Fallowstone Hall?
No, we cannot talk to them. That's fine.
Draw steel.
I'm gonna come up this way. See who else I can talk to. I want that. Yumi, if you do have it, please tell me how one acquires it, because I want it. Okay, so this is one way to Greyholm's upper level, but I think we're going to loop back around and actually get up there as intended. Because I don't know, I might be...
Engage all sides!
Progress is slow, but steady.
That's mildly disappointing. No, Singalis is up this way. Singalis. There's the husk.
Ah, Verandis. Good. I wanted to talk to you. I never tire of looking at this creation. Tell me again, why did you abandon your stone husks? I thought you wanted your precious mortals to enjoy the everlasting life of their betters.
The mortal I resurrected went mad, Singalis. The experiment failed.
Is that what bothers you? One small failure and you abandon such promising research. You had the opportunity to seize control of existence itself. To control both life and death. Such power is unimaginable, yet you squander it.
One failure was more than enough. Even power such as you describe is not worth the cost.
Cost? Ha! What cost? Mortals are as cheap and plentiful as grains of sand on a beach. Once you mastered your creation, you'd be able to resurrect them at will. They would worship you as a god. Wouldn't that bring about the peace you crave?
We are not their gods, Singalis. We are their equals.
How can you be so misguided? Mortals are so far beneath us they cannot even comprehend their own inadequacy. I only hope Lord Rada al-Saran can talk some sense into you. Meanwhile, I will study this creation. Perhaps even succeed where you failed.
I hope you do succeed, Singalis.
How I have missed our endless debates, my friend. Our deep and fascinating discussions about science and philosophy. I look forward to renewing that exchange. If you haven't presented yourself yet, you should go see Lord Rada al-Saran.
Tell you what, vampires kind of went off with the aesthetics. I know, right? Like, damn. What about your own research, Singalis?
I've been quite successful in your absence. Rada al-Saran discovered a strange relic beneath the Reach. I spent weeks examining it. It's quite remarkable, and I've only scratched the surface of the possibilities it might offer our kind.
That sounds fascinating. What kind of relic?
I'd prefer not to draw any conclusions until I've had time to examine it at length. But I welcome the chance to discuss it with you once you've settled in.
What did you find, Rada al-Saran? Wait, be with Singalis. I would not recommend it. Dude is off his rocker. I would absolutely, if any vampire but Singalis. Dude is not mentally well. He would absolutely not give a damn about you. Hi, Chibi. He would absolutely not give a damn about you and would just experiment on you. It's not worth it. What the? Why? What?
Greetings. At long last.
Be there in a second. I want to see who I can talk to.
Brandis, how good of you to join us. Come, sit. Have a drink with me.
Mortal blood is not as plentiful as mead, Ulz. It's not wise to gorge yourself like this.
Gorge? Ha! This is just a midday snack. Ever since we came here, we've had more blood than we can stomach. And I can stomach quite a bit. The dungeons are overflowing with delicious morsels. Lord Rada al-Saran knows how to keep us fat and happy.
There are dungeons beneath the castle.
Ah, I probably shouldn't have mentioned that. Forgive me, Verandis. Don't trouble yourself over it. Forget I said anything at all. Ha! I need another drink.
I'll speak more of this later. What the hell?
Do you suppose Ease ever tires of dancing, Verandis? The girl enjoys frolicking in that fountain almost as much as she enjoys warm blood.
I love the fan. The fan makes me happy. It's good to see you, Vem. How are things in the Empire?
As boring as ever. Until Fair Hestra came along, I'd all but given up on entertainment entirely. The new Empress is fascinating, isn't she, Verandis? A true warrior. Mortal, yes, but quite the conqueror. If she could be turned...
It would be unwise to reveal your true nature, Vem.
Perhaps. Yet Rada al-Saran saw the wisdom in immortal power, did he not? Hestra could be similarly convinced. Still, when she dies, and she will die, I expect it will be glorious. Worthy of a song. That will be entertainment enough.
I suppose we'll see soon enough. Be well, Vem. Alright, let's go talk to Rada al-Saran. I don't want to, but let's go talk to him.
How good to see you, Verandis, my old friend. You look well. Our halls have felt quite empty without you. What do you think of our new home? Is it not, as I wrote in my letter, everything one could ask for?
I am indeed in someone's body right now. Hold on. I am in Verandis Ravenwatch's body. I'm not really in his body. I'm like revisiting his memories right now. Because we have learned some disturbing information in the course of this quest. Apparently, at one time, he was part of the Grey Host before we knew him. And, Gwendis and I both have concerns. Because Gwendis did not know this about him. I did not know this about him. I do not know how I feel about this information. I miss him. I miss him considerably, but he's with Molag Bal still, so we are probably never going to see him again, and I'm sad about it. Anyway, let's talk to Rad al-Saran.
How good to see you, Verandis, my old friend.
Also, one more thing before I go through that again. Werewolf. Oh my goodness. Yes. I agree. They are amazing. I hesitate to refer to them as sexy given my being ace. And, werewolves just in general are very aesthetically pleasing, as are vampires in this game. Like, come the fuck on. But they're definitely, like, peak aesthetic. I love it. I mean, when you're in a dead thing, your options are limited. It's true. It's true.
How good to see you, Verandis, my old friend. You look well. Our halls have felt quite empty without you. What do you think of our new home? Is it not, as I wrote in my letter, everything one could ask for?
You built a grand castle, old friend, but I must know, have you considered my request?
To parley with the mortal queen. I have, but my stance has not changed. The Grey Host's strength has grown over the centuries, while dozens of mortal kingdoms have risen and fallen. What sense is there in revealing ourselves to them now?
Mortals are not as you remember them. Empress Hestra would make a fine ally.
What mortals gain from an alliance with us is obvious. But what benefit do we receive from them? King Styric and our Grey Host could crush this Empress Hestra and her armies in a day. I know you worry for our people, Verandis, but you need not.
You can't continue to war against the mortals. There are simply too many of them.
For such a brilliant mind who helped conceive our Grey Council, you can be so short-sighted, Verandis. I will say this. If the mortals do not move against us, we will not move against them. But I cannot protect your precious mortals from themselves.
I believe in the Grey Council, not Styric's Grey Host, and an alliance would protect us.
Enough talk of alliances and mortals. It has been too long since we last saw one another, Verandis. Let us speak of better times, drink the blood offered, and contemplate the tremendous responsibility we bear to keep our people safe.
I would like to continue our discussion of an alliance with the mortals later, my friend.
Of course, Verandis. I know you too well to think you would let the topic go so easily. I promise, we will speak of it again. There is no need to rush. We have not seen each other in an elf's age, I would hear what you have been up to, my brother.
We're immortal. We have all the time in the world to catch up.
And yet you waste years away from your family, caring for those who live short and meaningless lives. Ah, Verandis, is my word not enough to appease you? We will speak more of this later. For now, I wish to discuss more pleasant topics.
His hand, that's actually a glove design. Like, you can see some of the fabric underneath it, but it's like a black glove with metal bits attached to it. It's, in real world, that would be very difficult to actually make, and would not protect a whole lot on your hand in the real world, but that is a glove with metal bits on it. So he helped build the Grey Host, but then they refused to be friendly with mortals. Pretty much, that's the gist I'm getting. Anyway.
Talk of alliances and mortals. It has been too long since
there are
we last
dialogue
saw
options here. I want to know what they are.
Let us speak of better times. Drink the blood offered, and contemplate the tremendous responsibility we bear to keep our people safe.
I spoke with Ulfra and Singalis.
Good. You cannot imagine how much I have leaned upon them in your absence. It should please you to know that Ulfra shows restraint these days, and I know Singalis would love to discuss his experiments and research with you.
They don't understand the dream, Rada Alsaran.
They understand little that does not serve their own needs. They do not understand why we started the Grey Council, or what an asset you are to the Grey Host. It will take much to convince them to make peace with mortals.
Why did you invite me here if you're unwilling to talk about this?
We have talked, and I have listened. I have humored your ideals far longer than they deserve. I invited you because you will flourish here, Verandis. You belong here, among your brothers and sisters, not meandered in the tribulations of mortal life.
The dream didn't start with us ruling over mortals.
Your dream and mine are similar, my friend, but they are not the same. This friction between us, it thins my patience. Still, this place, no matter how grand, did not feel complete until you returned.
Yeah, yeah, those are definitely like metal, like claws on the ends there. So you have the finger, which comes like here, and then you have this extension bit, which is definitely sharp and meant to hurt. Also, the way Rada Alsaran is essentially talking to Verandis, there's a part of my brain that is like trying to ship it, and I do not want to ship it. It's just...
Lord Verandis, I apologize for the delay. The study is ready for you. Everything is ready for you, my lord. We moved your belongings into the study and provided all the reagents you requested. Should you require anything else, please let me know at once.
Like, I just... My brain is trying to ship it, and I do not want to ship it. It's just... No. No. Okay, so this is Verandis' study. Lots of books. Like, I'm here for all the books.
Easy, friend. It's time to wake up. Find the dream walk potion and drink it.
But I want to read the journal. I want to read the journal, damn it! I want to know more about what happened here. Damn it, Quendus.
You cried out in your sleep just before you woke up. What happened? Are you all right?
I went to Verandis' study in the dream and tried to read his journal.
Oh, that would explain it. Don't worry, it's not you. It's almost impossible to read in a dream walk. But did you say Verandis' study? He had a study in this terrible place? Was he truly a member of the Grey Host?
He was in something called the Grey Council, but he wanted them to make peace with mortals.
Sounds like Verandis. That's why he founded the Raven Watch after all. To allow vampires like us to gather safely, only feed on willing subjects, and help mortals instead of preying upon them. So, he wasn't hoping to conquer Tamriel?
No, he argued for an alliance with mortals. He truly wanted peace.
Then, he didn't lie to me. He's still the man I know and trust. He left out a few things, of course, but I'll deal with that another time. That study of his, it might still be here. Can you lead me to it?
I can. god. Okay, so don't walk into the things on the floor. Those are very painful. Do not walk onto them. Okay. This way. Don't walk onto them. Really? I'm literally just trying to live my life. Go away. I think it's just generally creepy fight music. I think that's all they were really going for. I'm not gonna walk on that.
After all this time, his scent lingers in this place.
So many of the bookshelves are just knocked over. What is that? Don't like that. Rummage through his desk. Ha! So we found Verandis' journal. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would ever come this close. My research finally bore fruit. The stone husk incubation vessels are the answers to all the unknowns I hope to unearth. My hope for this is twofold. One, that I will be able to resurrect mortal souls from their afterlife. Second, that I will be able to free vampire souls from Cold Harbor and thus free them from Molag Bal. I will attempt this extraordinary feat on a mortal first, a woman named Lysolda, who died of a wasting disease. Once I'm sure that the experiment is a success, I will attempt the much riskier undertaking of trying this on a vampire soul. I only pray that my excitement is not premature. Next entry is, I was a fool to think I had all the answers. I preached to Rada al-Saran about protecting mortals, yet my own experiment caused one to suffer needlessly. I attempted to resurrect Lysolda. At first I was elated. She did return from the dead, but she was not whole. Returning to the world of the living drove her mad. She was so angry. I could feel her rage as clearly as if she were made of flames. I could not think of a way to help her. I was forced to kill her to prevent her from harming anyone, and that act sickens me. My hubris caused Lysolda so much pain. It shames me. I must discover what went wrong. Perhaps if I put some of my own essence in a reliquary, it might stabilize the experiment. That will be my next course of action. There are too many unknowns. I modified the ritual, but I dare not follow through. The amount of life energy required to pull a soul out of Cold Harbor, that's too high a price to pay. I will keep a record of the process in this journal, but it must not be acted upon. The stone husks cannot be trusted as a methodology as they currently exist. This decision pains me, but I know in my heart it is right. I cannot hurt another the way I hurt Lysolda. I will not risk any others and cause more suffering. The study is closed. Also, what is that emoji? Oh my god. Hi, pop emoji. That is adorable. I've also begun to contemplate the ramifications of a world without a cycle of life and death. The possibility is horrifying. Why did I ever think this path was the way to peace? I was right to end my experiments and my research where I did. And then one last entry. I do not know why I accepted Rada al-Saran's invitation and came to Greyhome. Curiosity, I suppose. An undying hope that I can change the course of the Grey Council and avoid the war that Styric so desperately craves. I did bring all of my equipment with me. The ritual chamber they constructed here is really quite impressive. For a moment, I contemplated renewing my research with Singalis, but I know now that would be folly. It's unfortunate I cannot extract my essence from the reliquary, but that is the least of my worries. For now, I will store it in the first floor armory, hidden among the other reliquaries. I have no intention of staying in Greyhome, or remaining part of the Grey Coast's Grey Council, but at least I know my reliquary will be safe here. Let it serve as a reminder of my failure. If I am to truly broker peace between mortals and vampires, I still have a long road ahead of me. It's time to take my leave.
Did you find the journal? What's it say?
Oh, I know what she's gonna want.
Still here? Amazing. What did it say?
Well, Verandis attempted to resurrect humans and vampires using the stone husks.
Let me see that. Huh. Ritual's simple enough. Just light some candles and place the reliquary. It looks like he abandoned the research before ever testing it on a vampire. Something about life energy and too great a cost.
I think Singalis used his research to resurrect the Grey Host in Skyrim.
Right. Zingalis must have continued Verandis' experiments and refined them. You know, when a vampire dies, our souls go to Cold Harbor, to Molag Bal. This may be our chance to get answers directly from a member of the Grey Council.
You want to try to resurrect Verandis, don't you?
Verandis gave his life for Rivenspire, and what was his reward? Cold Harbor and an eternity of torment in the hands of Molag Bal. This will work. It has to. Go downstairs and find the reliquary he wrote about. Then meet me in the ritual chamber.
I'll go get it.
Get the reliquary and meet me in the ritual chamber.
This has bad idea written all over it. I'm just saying. This is the worst idea.
Circle around!
Rude! Really? If he comes back evil, y'all are gonna have to re-murder him. I mean, Verandis wasn't evil. He was a good vampire. As good as vampires can get, anyway. Like, he was a good being. I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to consider the possibility that I might have to hurt him. Oh, there was a gargoyle down here. They already dealt with him, thankfully. Oh my god. I'm not... That is a skeleton trapped up there. Went wrong with the human girl and she came back enraged. It's true. A reliquary filled with a small portion of Verandis' life essence. This is a terrible idea. This is a terrible idea, and we're doing this anyway. This is a horrible idea. I cannot believe we're doing this thing. Is it down here? It's down here. It's fine. Terrible ideas are the basis for all RPGs. You're not wrong. This is such a bad idea. I cannot believe this is a thing we're actually doing. Gwendis, I love you, sweetie, but... stressed. Like, on the one hand, I understand, you know, she misses him and all that. Like, I get that. This is such a bad idea. I have no words to stress how bad of an idea this is.
That's a stone husk, all right. Light the candles to begin the ritual.
Okay, so we're doing this, I guess. Sure. This is going to go so well.
Good. Now place the reliquary. The ritual. It's working. Is that really you?
Must feed.
Oh, jeez!
It's me, Gwendis!
No! Verandis! Verandis, you are so better than this! You are so much better than this! Come on now! Do not make me hurt you! I do not want to hurt you! I know you are so much better than this. Come on. Leave me alone. Who could have expected this? I know, right? Did I not say this was going to go badly? Did I not say that before this started? Did I not say this was not going to go well?
Oh, Verandis. Are you all right?
My apologies. The process doesn't leave one in their right mind.
I'm just glad you're alive. But Verandis, we need to talk.
Yes, of course, my child. Let us all go outside and speak.
I think he has a different VA. The voice doesn't sound exactly the same. There's a box. There is a glowy box. I must open the glowy box. Nothing very good in it. I don't know that it was necessarily evil so much as extremely hungry, but I also don't know that for a fact.
It's a miracle. Verandis back from the dead. I can't believe we saved him. All right, I need to calm down. Take a few breaths. You talk to him. I'm sure he has questions, but I don't think I can answer them right now.
Hi, Verandis.
I didn't expect to ever see you again, my friend. After we parted at the Doomcrag, I resigned myself to an eternity in Cold Harbor. But it seems my fate was not yet written. You and Gwendis saved me. I am more grateful than you can ever imagine.
So, Gwendis and I discovered your connection to the Grey Host.
That is unfortunate. I believed that part of my past was dead and buried. My involvement with the Grey Council ended so very long ago. Rada al-Saran and I were friends once. I tried to convince him to take a different path, to no avail.
Yeah, I kinda dreamwalked through your memories. Saw what you said to him and the others.
Then know that I truly regret not trying harder to convince Rada al-Saran and the Grey Council. Perhaps I could have averted the war. Alas, we'll never know. But why the sudden interest in ancient history, Why this obsession with the Grey Host?
So, about that, Gwendis and I discovered Rada al-Saran is still alive and the Grey Host is back.
What? How is that even possible? And what am I saying? Haven't I just returned from the dead? I must look into this. Find out what the Grey Host has planned. When the time comes, House Ravenwatch will send for you. I pray you will answer that call.
I'll be ready when you send word.
I started out seeking information about the Grey Host only to discover that my mentor had a hand in their creation. As angry as that made me, I was comforted to know Verandis opposed their war. And now he's back. I don't know what to think.
Well, Verandis promised to help you find out more about the Grey Host and their current plans.
I heard what he said. I'm still angry that he kept this part of his past a secret. But we'll work it out. Eventually. In the meantime, at least I know I can trust him. That he didn't betray the ideals of House Ravenwatch.
So you're going to work with him on this?
Of course. There's too much at stake to let a few secrets get in our way. I'll help in whatever way I can. And once we know more, we'll send for you. I figure you want to see how this ends just as much as we do.
Anything else I can help with at the moment?
Take this, my friend. You earned it. For helping me learn more about Rada al-Saran and the Grey Host. And for discovering the true connection between Verandis and the Grey Council. When you're ready for a reckoning, House Ravenwatch will contact you.
And we got a memento off of that. Reliquary of Dark Designs. I
never thought I'd see you again. So much has happened.
I know, Gwendis. We have much to discuss. Come, let us return to Ravenwatch Castle.
I wonder if we go to Ravenwatch Castle, if he'll be there.
The Grey Host must be dealt with.
I'm kinda curious to find out. You're not you when you're hungry. Here, have a Snickers. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Or at least in Verandis' case, give him like a vial of blood or something. Like, Fenorian keeps a flask on him that is legitimately just full of blood. Clearly we need to have something like that on hand for Verandis. I honestly hope, I genuinely hope that Verandis is not going to lose it a bit when we get to Markarth. I really hope he's going to be okay and not lose it. I don't know for sure, to be honest. It'll be interesting. We won't find out anything about Markarth, though, until it actually launches on the 2nd next month. I am very excited, though. Which, hold on, I don't think there's going to be anybody even in here, but I want to see anyway. Sometimes things change when you come in here.
I can't believe Verandis is really...
Yeah, okay, so this is just the way Ravenwatch Castle is post finishing this zone. So there's nothing new in here right now. Because Gwendis is still in her old outfit and everything. You know, while we're here, we have some maps to do, so let's go and get those taken care of. Hey Fen, Dad's back. Oh god. Yeah, Verandis is technically Fenorian's vampire dad, isn't he? Part of me laughs a little bit every time my brain wants to use the word vampire daddy, even if it's accurate. Hi, Eris. I completely blame LA by Night for that one. Which, if you haven't watched LA by Night, you should. If you like vampire stuff, it's very good. I like it a lot. I'm ridiculously behind. I need to catch up on it and watch what exists again. It has been a very long time. Ooh, that was a thing. Okay. You know, what do I have to scry for in here? Because I don't know. I don't have a whole lot here. Let's scry for this thing that is apparently related to House Tamrith. Gonna make that shiny. Like that. There we go. Daddy Fangs. Oh my god. Oh my god, hit me. I mean, it's accurate, but oh my god, why? I'm gonna avoid the harpy or bat or whatever that is, because I don't feel like dealing with it. But yeah, if you haven't watched LA by Night and you want to watch something that's Vampire the Masquerade, I highly recommend it. Thank you for the posture check, by the way, Pythagoras. Yeah, the reason why I kind of laugh with the whole vampire daddy thing is because when the characters are talking about the ones who turned them, one of the newest vampire in that group at the time, who is played fantastically by Erika Ishii, by the way, they wind up referring to their sires as their vampire daddy, so it makes sense for her. It's a hysterical moment. I encourage this. But now it's like used whenever that happens, and it's ridiculous. I encourage watching this if you can. This way is the way to go. But also there's a blacksmith survey up over here. I need that ore. there's the ore. Or no, but there's a chest here. Chests, as we all know, sometimes have leads in them. So they are worth it to investigate. No leads in that one. I'm mildly disappointed. Not completely disappointed, but slightly. Slightly disappointed. Okay, the fact that it didn't disappear means I have a duplicate of it. So I'm gonna go find this thing. Hopefully by the time I find the thing I'm looking for, that will have respawned. But I don't know. Okay, let's murder this skeever. There it is. Ha! Oh, and I hear a troll over there. We are going to be very careful. I also don't want to accidentally damage the thing, which can happen if you are not careful. Right now, what I'm doing is because I've uncovered the object, I can now try to dig up any other treasure that exists in here. I am notoriously bad at finding the other treasure, though, despite knowing it exists, so... Oh, hey, I found something. Cool. A Black Marsh transportation guide. I've also found House Tamrith's official seal, and a lead for North Point founding coin. What information do we get off of this? Now we get something from Gabrielle Benelay. It's remarkable how little the Tamrith House seal has changed over the course of centuries. It makes this hard to date, but it's real and it's old. Impressive, since these were wildly counterfeited during King Rancer's war to falsify correspondence. It's actually very impressive, come to think of it. Now we're going to scry for this coin, which is going to be a bit trickier because it is a blue coin. The rarity does impact like how difficult it is to scry for a thing. But we're good on this one. Where do we go to find this coin? Oh, all the way over there. Cool. Okay. We're gonna make our way back over here because hopefully by now it has respawned. Yes. So you can have multiples of the same exact crafting survey. I know I have several in my inventory that are for like the same thing. And you basically just have to wander away for a few minutes and then come back, and then suddenly it will respawn. But we've used the last of that. So that is a jeweler crafter survey right up there. I'm gonna ride on top of my guar. And pause. Murder this skeever. I am paying attention, damn it, Chibi. I am paying attention. I see you. And I am in fact hydrating. See? I'm being good. Oh, whoops. Did not loot that skeever. There's not a good way shrine point over there, so we're just gonna ride the very glowy guar over in that direction. Oh god. Did I realize this is gonna take me through a town that was infested with blood fiends? No. No, I did not. Do I regret my decision? Slightly. But at this point, they're not going to come after me, so it's fine. Does that mean it's up there or down here? I don't know if it means it's up there, but we're going to come up this way anyway. And see. We found a crafting area. It's not at all what we came up here for, but... Ah, there it is. Now, when I do my excavation, I like to try to start in the corners. Just because I don't know if it actually makes it easier, but it makes me feel a bit better starting in the corner. Oh, look, we even found an extra thing. And we have bonus time. So that's exciting. You can use the bonus time to hunt for additional treasure, in addition to the thing that we just uncovered. So, I'm notoriously bad at finding additional shiny things, but you get experience for finding these things either way. Now these are quite hard to come by. Eric Floaties had these gold coins specially minted to commemorate the completion of North Point's construction in the First Era 900. Only a few hundred were stamped and most remain in private collections. I'm not very good about finding extra things. Immediately finds 2 extra things. Was not anticipating that. Okay, so the secondary lead shows up. Oh god! I did not realize how far down that was. The second lead shows up the first time you do that regardless, so I don't know that that really counts as me finding it. And the other one showing up was legitimately chance. Like, I did not anticipate it being right next to that. That is often not the case at all.
Duke Sebastian was a werewolf, but they cured him.
Which, speaking of, let us scry for this, because we have the lead now. And because it's a purple thing, it is automatically, the map is bigger. And we basically have the same amount of charges to work with and everything. It's a tiny bit frustrating, but it is what it is. You only have like so much. Yeah, so I definitely failed at connecting all of the pieces. So I'm gonna have 3 dig sites to try to track it down. Oh, 4. I have 4 of them. Cool. This is fine. This is fine. One of them is right over here, so we're just gonna do this one first.
What is it?
Now, it's not necessarily the largest of the areas that pop up. It's not necessarily. It might be one of the smaller ones. You don't know until you go and look. Case in point. This was honestly one of the smaller ones. I had no idea that the thing was going to be here. Okay, good. Good. I have to be especially careful over here because there is a thing. There is a smoke pack thing, and well, we don't want to deal with that. We do not want to mess with that. Because we don't want to damage the item underneath, which we can do. Like that. That is not something we want to do. Okay. So now we can use our remaining time to try to comb through additional layers. But we don't have a whole lot of time left anyway, so... We found our antiquity. The Spire of Iroki Freeze. This one comes from Amalian, who, if you remember, is our friend in the wheelchair, which I think is so freaking cool. It's so rare to find alien architectural art still intact. The Alessian Order took a special glee in wiping out elven culture. I think the only reason there's any left at all was because they were more interested in wiping out the elves themselves. This beautiful relief pictures the legendary Spire of Iroki, while it still stood. Now the inglorious ruins are simply known as Doomcrag. One day I'll convince someone to carry me to the summit to study the spire's remains. Oh, Amalia, no. No, sweetie, no. Please don't go near the Doomcrag. It's safe now, but please don't do the thing. I am begging. It is not safe for you. You are too good for this world. Please don't do the thing. Okay, we're gonna scribe for this again. Because the more times we scribe for a thing, we still get experience and all of that, but we do it, or at least I do it, more because of the lore. The lore is what I'm personally after. Because I love learning lore about fantasy universes. I find it entertaining. You know, it would help if my straw was facing the right way this entire time. Okay, so we have a jewel crafter survey up there. And then the thing we need to dig up is going to be over there. We're going to go for the jewel survey first, just to get that out of the way. Also, that is a big red X, and I would like it off of my map. Oh, of course, it's on an area with a boss, because why not? Why not? Oh, the boss is dead. Excellent. Okay, but it looks like it's on the other side of this. So we're gonna have to loop around this. Get our jewel crafting stuff. Or maybe not. Maybe I am just blind as heck. Both are possible. Both are completely possible. Ah, here it is. Oh my god. I found a gold lead out here, you guys. That was a gold lead. What? That's a gold lead. what? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so I need... Yeah, I need to. Like, a lot. Like, oh my goodness. I need to hit rank 7 in order to make that better. Like, there are a couple of gold leads I need to hunt down. Because I don't know how many of you remember, but there's a mount that you can get by compiling different pieces. And I need to excavate a lot. This is another reason why I want to start working on map completion on this character. Part of it is sort of like a sense of obligation sort of thing, but another part of it is honestly, do you see all these sky shards I haven't acquired yet? The sky shards are literally the only way I can get skill points anymore. Like, until more quests show up, where skill points are rewards for the quest, I need skill points to put into things. I need the skill points so I can be an impressive antiquarian. We're just gonna charge through here. Nope, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. I don't want to fight you, leave me alone, oh my goodness. This is gonna make excavating everything so much more complicated. Just because there are things that want to eat me. Okay, we're gonna sneak. Oh, there it is. There's the thing. I see the thing. Yay. I see the thing. Now, again, part of the reason why I choose to start in the corners personally is that it sort of helps narrow down where you need to go, or where you need to start from, which is very handy. Okay, we found a thing. Now we can just keep digging. Ah! I found another thing! Yay! The telltale mark of authenticity here is the inscription. It's written in Aldmerius, signifying pride in their elven heritage. Bred in nobility ceased the practice around the time that High Rock joined the Elysian Empire. I love that we get to learn lore. I love this so much. And now we can scribe for this thing again. Because once you complete the first one, you get lore. You get the lore, and you get to just go wild with it. And again, I love that we get lore, so I'm happy about this. Okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Oh, look, all the way over there. Cool.
Yeah.
This is vaguely dangerous, but we're gonna do the best we can. Part of this will require swimming. It's fine. Ride, my Gwar friend, ride! I don't know that I'm gonna use this mount again on this character, but I'm beyond thrilled that I have a fuzzy Gwar now. To be honest, it's very weird riding around on this character and hearing like the papping noises and not hoofbeats. Like, it's too weird for me. So again, I don't think I'm going to keep riding this mount on this character, but clearly I need an alt that just uses that mount forever. Because it's too amazing. Okay, it's... Oh, there it is. I see it. Well, that's handy. Okay. At this point, we start shifting a bit because I don't want to accidentally injure this thing that I'm trying to gather. There we go. I also really just want to increase the layers of... Oh, 2 shiny things! I found multiple shiny things. I found gold and I found a figurine. I wonder if I can actually put that in my house. I don't think so. A lot of treasures you can't. Incorrect. Those figures were a deliberate attempt by unscrupulous archaeologists to inflate their value. My own research suggests floaties circulated these coins through all North Point's trade to spread word of his new trade port. And now we do this again because one more and we will have all of the lore for both of these items. Oh look, it's all the way over there, because of course it is. Okay, normally I would not do this. You all know normally I advocate for going to a way shrine first because it costs you no money to travel between way shrines. However, I'm feeling lazy and we only have like 5 more minutes left of this stream. So I did not want to potentially waste time in hunting down an artifact when we have like 5 minutes left. It just seemed like a colossal waste of time. Oh my god, why is there a giant bat? Go away. You are directly where I need to go, and I don't appreciate this. Let me just hunt for my antiquity in peace, please. I just want to find this thing, and then go away. That did not work quite as anticipated. It's fine. There it is. Yes, we... Oh. Okay, there's where we start. I was not sure. There we go. There we are. This is our last official seal that we can gather up. Which is very exciting. Ooh, we found another thing. Yay. The inscription appears to be, "By Arkay's grace we live and die, but there is no end to the Tamrith line." I'd say they were tempting fate with that credo, but they've made good on their word thus far. She's not wrong. And we do have one more thing to scribe for here, but I think we're going to wrap this up by doing something. We're going to wrap this up with a visit to the newest house that we have in like the last few minutes, because why not, really? So this is the house that we basically got for doing the Lost Treasures of Skyrim event. The loading screen art is a lot more elaborate than my version of the house currently is. I just manage your expectations, friends. Because I have not decorated it yet. I have not figured out how I want to organize anything. This is the home. It's basically like a Nord style house, but it has lots of places for you to like stash antiquities and things like that. We've got a waterfall back here. We've got a freaking waterfall back here. Like, how cool is that? Put a cat in every room. I actually could. I probably could put a cat everywhere. I need to figure out... I'm thinking maybe when I finally start laying things out, this pavilion might turn into a crafting area. But like, these tables are just here. I didn't put these here. These were here when I got the house. So they're here for you to just like put things on. The inside's a lot like that too. This is the inside of the house. There are tables literally everywhere for you to put things on. Like, all of the stuff you wind up uncovering. There's plenty of wall space to hang things on the walls. Like, these tables are literally here just so you can put things that you dig up on them. Which is pretty cool. You come up here. This is basically the attic area. And there are still tables everywhere. Like, if you want to physically live in this house, I don't know how practical it is as a living establishment. But I think I just sort of want to turn this into like a library sort of situation. And just put all the antiquities that I wind up digging up in here at some point. But I really like the waterfall in the backyard. Like, we get a freaking waterfall. How cool is that? This house has a freaking waterfall. We could just, like, hang out in here. I'm mildly disappointed that there's not a hidden passage behind the waterfall. I feel like there should be. I feel like if you're going to put a waterfall in a house, there should be something hidden behind it. I'm disappointed that there is not. But this is the newest house that everybody who had Greymore at the time Lost Treasures of Skyrim completed acquires. And I think it's very cool. And I'm pretty sure Yumi is going to turn this into something fantastic. So at some point, we will need to visit Yumi once Yumi has hers all decorated. Put all your cinch mounts hanging out outside, maybe just inside as guards. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. That would be amazing. But that is the new house. I don't have enough antiquities to wind up decorating it with yet, but one day, I will decorate that house. Which is kind of rare for me to say because I have spaces, but I don't tend to decorate them. So the fact that I kind of want to decorate this one is kind of weird to me. I'm not used to having homes that I'm a little like, yes, please let me decorate them. You can start with cats. Okay, so I'm hesitant to actually start putting cats in because when I do, this is the only reason why I'm hesitant to start. The reason why I'm hesitant to start with cats, is because I'd want them to be able to path around the space And until I know where I'm laying things out, I am hesitant to put the cats in. Because there are a lot of cats. I have many cats. Plus, whenever I decide which area is my main living establishment, I'm going to want to put a cat into it. And, you know, I want to save a cat. I want to save a cat for that. So I need to settle down and figure out where exactly I'm putting things. But at some point, I will figure it out. 5 cats in your bedroom. That is too many cats. That is not a sentence I ever thought I would say, but that feels like too many cats. That feels like way too many cats. Anyhow, this is the point of the stream where we do wind up wrapping up for the evening. Thank you guys so much for coming and for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. Many, many hearts. Not in magical fantasy land, it's not. Okay, fair. Fair. Never too many. It is true. Okay. So, tonight, I actually think we're going to do things a bit differently. And, oh, thank you for the filth hearts, Chibi. I appreciate them. We are actually going to host a newish, they're not a new streamer, but they are an awesome streamer nonetheless. Don't know how many of you know an individual by the name of Mermaid Queen Jude, but Jude is an amazing bean. They're currently playing some Among Us. I don't know for how much longer. But it is chaos, and it's always a lot of fun. So we are going to set up a host for Jude after this. And if you guys are new around here and you enjoyed what you saw, there's a heart-shaped button down in that corner. Please feel free to click on it and make sure the bell next to it is rung so you know when we're live next. Next stream is going to be Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be switching things up and playing some Scarlet Hollow. Oh my god, the bees. Oh my god, the bees. So, full disclosure with Scarlet Hollow. I don't know a whole lot about the game. I only just learned today that there might be some triggers for body horror and gore. So if that is going to be an issue for you, and I completely understand if it is, I will not hold it against you if you do not come and join us on Sunday. Your mental health is priority. I appreciate you wanting to support me, but if you need to skip out for your mental health, please do the thing. I am not worth your mental health. Like, please just take care of yourself. That is the important bit. Again, I know nothing about this game past that, so I don't know if there are going to be jump scares. I know nothing. That is literally the only thing I could find about that game. So, just please keep that in mind. Again, prioritize your mental health is what I'm getting at. That said, I don't know how long the first chapter is going to go for. I have no information. None whatsoever. So, that is where that is at. I will again remind everybody of this when we're streaming again on Sunday. But again, please prioritize your mental health. It is important. So, that said, I'm going to go set up a host for Jude. You all have a good rest of your week and have a good weekend. And I will see you, well, I might see you again on Sunday. But have a good day, you guys. Or good evening, I guess. Love you. Please take care of yourselves. Make good choices. Okay. Night, guys. Wow, okay. Where is... There we go.